Market Open Bell, Wednesday, the 14th of September. Welcome everyone to the show. Just a very quick run through the markets on Tuesday. The global stock market sank yesterday on the back of that hotter than expected U.S. inflation data that wrecked stocks across the U.S., developed markets in Europe, and this morning, European markets are also getting off to a bit of a very shaky start. A bit of knocked-on effect on a number of African markets on Tuesday. The South African stock market went down by 2.15%. The stock market in Nairobi was sold off 1.28%. The Egyptian market fell by 35. The BRVM softened by 0.03. Nigeria managed to escape that because of gains that we saw on one of the biggest cement maker, Lafarge Africa. The banking sector saw a bit of sell-off. The shares of some of the big names, such as Zenith Bank, fell 0.25% on the day. So that's a bit of what's so-called the crater of global stocks on Monday. Oil prices also fell very sharply on that U.S. inflation data. Current account deficit was also reported yesterday by the world's number one economy. This morning, we're looking at the U.S. UK inflation, which came in slightly better than expected from 10.1% to 9.9%. And we hope that would hold the markets a little bit steady this Wednesday. So let's move on. Check the East African markets for your headline news. The mounting debts and inflation is the welcome that the new Kenyan President William Ruto will be facing from this morning as he formally succeeds President Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto and his vice president's, deputy president's inauguration was quite a very glamorous event yesterday in Nairobi. So, the food shortage is hitting Kenya ahead of the price review that is likely going to take place. William Ruto will be inheriting Uhuru Kenyatta's administration. Of course, he's been the deputy president, so technically he's familiar with the current economic terrain of the country and the economics that he's inheriting. Current account deficit fell back to about 5.1% in the 12 months to July. Maybe there's some good news there for William Ruto, his new administration and his new team. Uganda says he's going to allow all loans, he's going to see all loans pledged for the oil pipeline project. The multi-billion-dollar project will come in by November, what's called a financial close. Then the project will take off. The biggest oil pipeline project in the eastern coast of the continent. Rwanda is looking at a 1.5% monetary policy rate hike to tame inflation. All right, so this is what the West African markets and the economies look like in terms of the headlines. One of the presidential candidates in Nigeria's 2023 general elections, Moustapha Barka of the People's Democratic Party, yesterday says he's going to float at least two new special funds, an infrastructure fund of $20 billion and another $10 billion economic stimulus fund if he's elected. Next, he said he will do both within first 100 days in office to re-energize the Nigerian economy that has been flagging in recent years. In particular, he blamed the President Buhari's administration of 7 years in office now for the Nigeria's rising debts and lack of jobs and a few other problems, including massive oil theft and rising insecurity. Other presidential candidates on other platforms, such as the ruling APC and Labour Party, are expected to also make a show at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industries Economic Summit, which is asking all the leading presidential hopefuls to step forward and discuss their economic agenda. Moustapha Barka was the first to raise the curtain on that yesterday. Other presidential candidates will do the same in the days and weeks ahead. The FMDQ Securities Exchange yesterday announced it has admitted Union Bank's 100 billion naira commercial paper borrowing. And Barclays Bank is looking at the ultra-wealthy private banking business in Africa, roughly $2 trillion. And the vice president of the BOAD, the Malian Moustapha Barka, was arrested on Monday in Paris on his way to South Korea. There were no further details on why this banker was arrested. Ghana says it will start mining iron ore by the end of 2023. That's according to the agency responsible for government mining business in Accra. Let's check with the folks in Southern Africa, the Southern African economic and business headlines this Wednesday. The South African Eskom, the utility, says this load shedding will continue moving forward because the problems are not over yet. The CEO of Eskom spoke a few days ago and says the maintenance being done and not yielding any results as we speak. So load shedding is now pushed to stage 4. In the meantime, it's going to be a little bit difficult for the creditors to Zambia to go without any losses. So a bit of a haircut, a deep haircut is expected. The debt restructuring that Zambia is discussing with the Chinese as well as the other international creditors that as part of giving Zambia a new horizon under President Hichileme's administration. South Africa is looking at renewable energy projects. Funding could be like a 4 billion rand a financial close as soon as possible. And the production plan for Western climate aid, South Africa is moving on after the COP26, ahead of COP27 summit in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt next month. South Africa is moving ahead to get some financial close to some of the projects within the climate change or climate adaptation program that the country is pursuing. And Eskom say it may need more state money to battle its rising costs, is looking to raise additional cash on the side. But all that is means there's no green shoot yet. There's no yet uhuru for South Africa's largest utility, Eskom. So let's keep that in mind. Let's check in with the Northern African corridor, by the way, with the Central Bank of Egypt and the EFDB have signed an MOU for Egypt to host the 2023 annual meetings of the African Development Bank. Egypt is hosting a number of international events on the African continent. It was the host of the annual meetings of the Afrexim Bank back in June. It's also hosting the COP27 Climate Change Summit in October. Sharm el-Sheikh will be the location for the 2023 annual meetings of the AFDB, headquartered in Abidjan, the Ivorian financial capital. Of course, AFDB spent some time in Egypt during the war in Cote d'Ivoire years ago before it's relocated back to to Ivory Coast. The first Abu Dhabi bank says it's close to the completion of the merger of a Bank Audi of Egypt. Meantime, Egypt's trade deficit went down 12.4% to about $3.2 billion in the month of June, while the two-day South Sudan Oil and Power Gas Conference, which started yesterday, continues today in Juba. Morocco and the Canadian mining company said they've signed $6.5 million investment deal. Congratulations to this particular transaction in the mining sector. Congratulations to the Canadian mining company, Morocco, and to everyone on today's Frontier Opening Bell. I am Bosin Amafaya. I'll see you next time.